Hi there, I'm here today to give you a quick overview of the Neverwinter Nights map that I created called the King's Call. This is a module including 4 different areas and several different scripts. Mostly we're going to cover the scripts in this part of it and follow this up with an actual playthrough so that you can see the scripts in action. To start out with, we're going to open up the actual Aurora toolset, and you can see here the scripts section on the left. If you open up my scripts, we have this particular script here, which is a way for the player to be awarded a special item, which is the royal emblem. This will become clear if you pay attention to the speech trees. Follow this up. I've got some henchmen scripting that will allow the henchmen to react appropriately to the player if they choose to hire a henchman. Okay, I've got some scripts for ordering them to attack, to join, just to take a look. You can see what you need to make the henchman attack. Alright, one of the first things that the player will see is after the module starts, they will be met by a servant of the king who will tell them that the king needs to see them and that it is most urgent. When this happens, that NPC will spawn a portal which takes the player to another area. As you can see here, this is the script that was necessary to do this. Okay, and what we have here, you can see the script in action. Alright, this was one of the more complex scripts to create a visual effect and transport the player to a new area. Alright, the king will perceive them when they get close with the use of this script here. Alright, also the king himself will open another portal to send the player somewhere else after they are finished with the conversation. They will appear in town near the merchant so that they can stock up for the battle against the Mage Lord. Alright, we also have a conversation with the Mage Lord themselves. Alright, the Mage Lord will actually communicate with the player if the player gets within visual range so that the Mage Lord perceives the player. Alright, we have also some store. This allows the player to buy objects and items. And of course, the starting script. This is what triggers Seldor, which is the servant of the king who comes to visit the player after they start. In addition, one more script, and this script is basically here so that the player can only be jumped if it's a valid waypoint, and this will actually send them to the king's area. Alright, having that in mind, I'm going to take a quick look at some of the areas. You will see that the castle anteroom, this is where the player starts. Okay, and Seldor is out here. Seldor will basically come and greet the player and transport them after the short conversation. This transports them immediately to the king's chambers, which, as you can see, the player will appear here, and the king is here. After the player approaches to about here, the king will come out and greet them and speak to them for just a few minutes to explain plot details. Following this, the king will open a portal for the player that will take them to the city streets. As you can see, here are the city streets. The player arrives here. This is the shop NPC. Okay, they speak to this NPC, get everything set up for what they need as far as purchasing items. They can come down here and speak to this here henchman and hire them to take them with them. Or, of course, they can go without if they so choose. Once the player is ready, they come out to the Mage Lord's camp, which is outside the city. It's a large forested area with several encounters, including bandits and many other oddities that the player can encounter. Okay, the player enters from this bridge here. They will encounter a group of bandits here. They can encounter some cats. In addition, there are more bandits and an actual group of ogres that you can find here. Okay, if the player enters this region, they will encounter the undead, and the were-cats are here. The Mage Lord finally is located here, towards the back of the map. Alright, if the player enters any one of these regions, it will trigger encounters for the player, and the player can use these to level up before they actually fight the Mage Lord. With that in mind, we're going to take a look at the actual map during play to show you what it looks like throughout the map. Thank you.